Okay, no time to waste. Time now for everyone's third favorite segment of the week. It is time.
And now it's time to open up your ears and your minds, MMA fans. It's time for Rick's Picks. Rick's Picks. Rick's Picks are lots of fun, and his hair is
I actually don't know if he's here today.
You already know what it is.
Rick's Picks.
We're about to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the new craze taking the world by storm. Live from the Vox Studios in beautiful New York City, it's time for
Rick's Picks.
That's right. Here he is. Oh, there he is. The man of the hour.
Friend.
Too sweet to be sour.
How are you?
I'm doing well. You?
I have no complaints.
What do we got?
Life's great.
Did you watch the Casey fight?
No, I did not.
What?
What kind of nonsense is this? Of course I watched it.
No, were you watching it live?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't see you in the comments.
What comments?
When we were watching it live, everyone was commenting.
What? Wait, where? Where are you talking about?
Were you watching the Celtic Gladiator stream or the
I was watching the Celtic Gladiator
I was watching the Ramundi stream.
No, come on.
I know.
I want the pro quality, bro.
You're right. It was a way better stream. I felt bad because I told Mark to do it, and then Celtic finally jumped in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to support his endeavors.
As much as I love Mark, I need to see this in HD. I need to.
It was
apparently an iPad.
It was great.
Doing it right. Yeah.
I didn't know you could even stream IG Live.
They I have to tell you, they did a fantastic job on the fly recording that.
I mean, they almost freaking fumbled the whole damn bag because they weren't going to stream anything. Come on, guys.
People needed to see that, and I'm sure they're happy they did. I'm sure that's the most they've got on that page. So shout out to them for doing it.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Thank you
for arranging.
Thank you.
I mean, you wouldn't want to pat yourself on the back, so let me.
No, I appreciate that.
And shout out to the boy, Casey.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Paddy.
No.
Doesn't he call himself the boy?
Yeah, he says he's the boy. The real boy?
Right.
The real boy is Casey.
That's right. That's right.
I have some Rick's picks. None of them are from London, so if there's anything else you want to get off your chest on that,
thank God.
Maybe talk about it, because otherwise we're moving on.
Good. I'm good to move on.
Good.
I mean, actually,
it was a great night.
There's going to be more London talk on Wednesday.
What do we got?
Tom Aspinall joining us. One of our favorites in terms of broadcasters who might have been the play-by-play guy on Saturday.
My guy, Johnny G.
Johnny G in the house. And I think a fighter who I don't think was in attendance, but obviously has a keen interest and is a huge part of building the foundation that we saw flourish and come to fruition on Saturday. I don't know if I'm even describing this the right way, but the Outlaw, Dan Hardy, will give us his thoughts.
Very good.
Among others. So stay tuned for that.
Gooden and Hardy reunion, maybe a little bit of
crossover. No,
crossover.
Different
times.
Different times. Yeah, I don't want to make it awkward for anyone.
Sorry, I didn't mean to tease something that's not getting delivered. Okay.
What do we
Moving
got?
on. Great night of fights.
Yeah.
But the story of the weekend is our very own EKC.
I thought you were talking about the things I just talked about.
I'm not talking about London.
Oh, okay.
No. You think I'm going to do a segment without giving this to EKC, aka K1 Casey, because obviously striking, as he said, aka Eugene Casey Leydon Madoff. Like this guy gets the rub this week. Nate Diaz voice, oh, you're a wrestler now. Shout out to Casey, getting it done for us, for MMA fighting, for himself, for the documentary crew that's documenting the whole journey. Shout out to Cynthia and Esther. I don't know if they're using anybody else that's local over there, but I know those two are obviously involved. So yeah, shout out to Casey. Congratulations. Sounds like he's going to do it again. So let's do it one more time. But yeah, looking forward to part 2 that's going to come out on the MMA Fighting YouTube channel.
Oh, when's that coming out?
Showcasing the fight. I don't think we have a timeline or an ETA on that yet, but I know Casey and everybody's working on it. So
I watched part 1 on Friday. 30 seconds in, I'm crying my eyes out. I don't know why I was getting so emotional.
Because that dude knows how to tell a story, man.
Yeah, he does.
He knows how to tell a story.
The way
as
they
good
shot
as he is at fighting.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Better at that.
Yes, okay. I thought you were going to say he's as good as a videographer as he is a fighter, but I would say
no. He might be the best at that. That video was awesome, and the fight was awesome, and now we're looking forward to what's next. But Shout out to the man, UKC. Of course. You crazy?
Come
on. One more person though. Conor McGregor gets my pick.
Wow.
Popped his head up for air, talking to Oscar Willis of the Mac Life. Stealing the headlines, stealing the attention. Just as he has famously once told you, he is still the bread.
Yes.
Kamar Usman now talking about him. And Hamzat and Darren Till inviting him to become a trio.
Yes.
One of the triumvirate. But Conor McGregor still has the juice popping up on.
Now, how'd you feel about him popping up on Friday? It was Friday, right? It wasn't.
Well, I think they recorded that before St. Paddy's Day because you know what? It was the day before St. Paddy's Day because he says I'm gonna drink tomorrow on St. Paddy's Day, so I'm not gonna drink today.
Right.
At the bar, at the Black Forge Inn where
sure.
This took place. How do I feel about him doing it? Like what you mean? Like during the fight week of the London card?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna if he did it tomorrow, if he did it Monday, if he did it.
Do you have any interest in this fight?
I tell you, okay. There's only one person that's truly at this point a welterweight who's not already like Leon Edwards already has that fight, right? So obviously Leon Edwards I care about seeing. I want to see that rematch. I think Leon deserves that. I think Arnold Allen gave him the big up this week, saying he's the best fighter in British MMA. Leon's awesome. I really want to see that fight. There's only one fight after that I really care about, and that's Hamzat versus the winner of that fight. If Leon wins, maybe an immediate rematch with Kamar or something to that effect. But I don't see much in that division that I really care about at this point for Kamara. So I don't hate it. I mean, I don't think it's a very competitive matchup.
But if you're managing Conor McGregor, do you want his first fight back to be at 170 against Kamar Usman?
Well, I think his next fight will be at 170. Period.
No. First fight back at 170 against Kamar Usman. Like, probably. I would go the Donald Cerrone route, get him a win,
and then go into it.
And then we start talking about that. We need a win here.
I don't think Conor has that mentality. I think Conor. Look, if you're Conor McGregor and you can walk into a title shot against Kamar Usman,
of course you take it. I'm just saying, if I'm managing him, I'm not the UFC now. I'm managing him.
I don't think it's a competitive fight. I'll say that up front.
You think it happens?
I think it's more likely than unlikely. I'll say that because I don't think the UFC sees a lot of contenders for Kamar Usman. Right?
Well, you still have Luque and Bilal coming up.
Okay, one of them's going to get eliminated, right?
Yeah, I mean the winner of that fight.
Cutting it in half, right? There's only one left there.
Of course, we have the big Canelo fight.
That I'll say this: I want to see Conor more than I want to see Usman Canelo.
1,000%. Not even a question. I mean, not even a question.
Luque and Bilal, only one guy's coming out of that. If Gilbert Burns wins again, I don't care to see that quickly. If Hamzat wins, obviously that's the one I said I want to see. So look, they're short on bodies for Kamar Usman, and Usman isn't moving up unless Israel Adesanya's gone. So that really eliminates a lot of options. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it.
Which fight do you want to see more? Conor versus Usman or Conor versus Jake Paul?
Conor versus Jake Paul, because I think that'd be more competitive.
Wow.
I think Conor McGregor has a real chance. I know Dana White and others have talked about the size discrepancy. Conor looked pretty massive in that video. I don't think the size will matter that much. I don't think Jake Paul fights very big, nor does he really lean on his opponents that much. I don't think that would be too hard to overcome. I mean, we saw Tyron Woodley has some success against Jake Paul. I don't think that will be too much for Conor. I would like to see Conor versus Jake.
Obviously, the Jake Paul fight is a more winnable fight.
Also a bigger fight, I would argue, right? Like
buys-wise? 100%.
That's a good question. I don't know 100%. I don't think Jake Paul is as box office as the attention. I think he gets a lot of attention. I don't know if he's a paper.
Well, the problem is that his fan base aren't paying $75.
Yeah,
that's the fundamental issue. His fan base don't even understand what the term pay-per-view means. 18-year-old kids don't have that income, and they aren't convincing their parents to do it. They're just going to find a stream. That's the fundamental issue. So the number that has been reported for the second Woodley fight is false. The second Woodley fight did do less than the first Woodley fight, but it's not the number that's out there. I'm only at liberty to say that. I'll also say 1,000%, that's not the amount of people that watched. Obviously, way more people watched.
Of course.
It's just that many people. So I think together, there was just no interest in that rematch because of how the first fight went. I think together, it brings in all kinds of different people that wouldn't come into a regular MMA fight, right?
Absolutely.
It brings all kinds of...
As Mayweather and McGregor once did.
And please, for the love of God, do not mistake what I'm trying to say here. Obviously, Usman is, I think, the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet right now. Sure. Obviously, he's a high... Like, I'm not comparing the athletic competition in one fight versus the other. I'm just saying what will transcend the fight game. Usman just isn't that name right now. He's getting close.
Inside the fight game, he's that guy. Outside the fight game, he is not. That is
he's inching closer to getting that kind of recognition outside. Sure. But you can't compare the two in terms of outside popularity.
No, it's a completely different ballgame. But as you said, like there are some hurdles in terms of converting that younger audience, right? Like it doesn't. I don't think it's a no-brainer, but I think it's a must-do. Yeah, obviously, if that opportunity is there. I don't think that's a possibility. Whereas I think Kamaru and Conor is very possible.
I maintain you book him against Masvidal next at 170.
It's a great fight for him.
And if you win that fight now, it's a thing. But I think also I'm talking now from I'm managing him. I want my guy to get his confidence. But I know like he's not short on confidence, but like just to win, to get back on track, I think would be, for the business. You win a fight, you beat Masvidal. If it's at MSG, great. You'll get all this attention. For the business of Conor McGregor, you get a win. People start believing in you again. The hype comes back.
Yep.
I'm not one to say that he's less I've said it 1,000 times. Conor versus a broomstick does 1 million buys. He's the only one in the game who's automatic 1 million buys. But if I'm on Team McGregor and I want him to get the mojo back, he's still relatively young. We're coming off a serious injury. Let's get a win. I don't know who that guy is. I think the fight, like regardless of if we're trying to fight Usman next, I just think a win, and then we talk about the big things.
The yeah,
that's my thoughts.
I agree. I think it's more likely that he would come straight into a
100%
shot. Yeah. And Dana didn't seem to shoot it down too quickly.
Of course not.
So I'll say this though: I'd rather see the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira versus Conor over Usman. Because I actually think those would be decently competitive.
I mean, Gaethje versus Conor would be incredible.
Yeah.
No one's shooting in that fight.
No, nobody's shooting, but those leg kicks would probably add up quickly.
Oliveira versus Conor would be great too. Yeah. Also, I just think Conor is better at 55 than 70.
I agree. I just man, he looks
big. But I mean, once he gets into a training camp, he's doing cardio.
Yeah.
I think he's just a better 55er than he is at 170. I mean, the Cerrone fight it was so short, but the two Nate fights were at 70. That's really our sample size. 55, at one time, he was the best in the world.
Yeah. I buy it. I dig it. I would rather see that, but I ain't mad. I'm not mad about the potential of Conor versus Usman.
Can Paddy Pimblett be as big as Conor McGregor?
Oh boy, what are we talking? Like, the answer is no, obviously. I mean, I don't even think that's even in the realm of possibility.
Paddy has the thing that people who aren't fight fans are like, oh, this Paddy guy, I want to watch this guy.
Nobody outside of my MMA watching friends has ever asked me about Paddy Pimblett. And I cannot say that about Conor McGregor.
Okay, but
now, again, we're comparing early, right?
We're comparing second fight. Right, we're comparing second.
For one thing, I just don't think Paddy Pimblett is as good a fighter as Conor McGregor.
That's not the point. That's not the question.
I know you're not saying that, but I think those things are part and parcel.
Sure.
I think those things go hand in hand. To be Conor McGregor, to reach the heights that Conor McGregor reached, I think it's underrated. I think people forget this because of how big Conor is and what Conor became. He was absolutely lancing people on the way up. Like that dude was the truth from day one, and I will admit, I needed to see it before I was ready to declare it. I was not one of those who was like, Conor McGregor is going to be the next champion. I wasn't that guy, but I was thinking that he had the skills and the capabilities. I needed to see it first. not dissimilar to actually how I thought about Israel Adesanya. I wanted to see the proof, but has all the skills and had all the skills. I don't think Paddy Pimblett has that, and I think that will limit how far he can go. I think he can headline a card. Obviously, he could have headlined that card. I thought he should have headlined that card, quite frankly. But I think he will have to win tough fights in order to even like sniff the conversation of becoming Conor McGregor, which I don't think he will. He will have to win big fights, and I don't think that he has what Conor has. I mean, let's just call it what it is. In his first 2 fights, he's faced adversity.
He got rocked.
It hasn't been smooth sailing. He wasn't, Muhammad Makayev, who came in there and just smoked a dude.
Sure. He hasn't had, and by the way, calling it like it is, for all the hate that Conor got early on, which I thought was unfair, he never fought a Kazula Vargas.
Yeah, that's fair.
He never fought a Luigi Vendramini. I mean, Marcus Brimage was a solid debut. Max Holloway maybe didn't get the kind of love back then. That fight has aged very well. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think it's almost a disservice to Paddy to compare him to Conor. I know he'll welcome it. Look, Conor's a legend. I think he puts himself.
Everyone wants to do that. I mean, they were comparing him back in Cage Warriors too.
I think it's a disservice because nobody's Conor, period, when it comes to that attention. But Paddy's special when it comes to that, no doubt. Like, Paddy captures the imagination in a way that a fighter at his level of experience, at a fighter who's facing the opposition that he's facing, he has something that others don't. He has it. Whatever it is, he has it. And he is special in that regard. So I think it's a disservice to even compare him to the biggest name, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, those names that have completely changed attention for MMA. I think it's a disservice because I think he's up there. I think he's on that level when it comes to drawing attention. He needs the skills to match, and I'm willing to be proven wrong. I think he could. I think it's possible. I personally don't see it. But if he does, the sky is the limit. The sky is truly the limit because people are drawn to him. Haters, lovers, whatever it is.
He is polarizing.
He has it, and people will come along for the ride. So if they can build him in the way that that you're kind of describing for, you're talking about Conor McGregor, give him one that he can win. If Paddy Pimblett can keep getting ones he can win.
Oh, by the way, if I'm promoting Paddy Pimblett, I'm giving him 6 more Kazula Vargases.
Yeah.
Who cares? If you're getting that kind of pop, that kind of reaction, what's the rush? Now, I agree with Big John. I saw a quote from Big John. He was actually fighting tougher competition in Cage Warriors than he has thus far in the UFC.
Julian Erosa, right? Like,
Soren Bach. Like these guys are tougher than the ones he's fought. With all due respect, he did get rocked. He's winning. He said it. It's fun either way. Like, these fights are never boring with him. I also think the unique thing about Paddy Pimblett is, in the history of us, MMA, us covering the sport over a decade now, very rare to have a guy who was that popular on the quote-unquote regional scene for that long, not make it to the UFC, and then finally make it to the UFC. So I think what's cool about the Paddy experience for, the Kaposas of the world and also the new fans of the world is, usually it's Ian Gary, you get a few fights, couple years, you're jumping in there.
Sure.
Paddy made his debut in 2012.
Yeah.
Paddy was fighting on the same night as the UFC 205 card in 2016 in the main event. So it's been a long journey for him, and he's got the name, he's got the look, he's got the accent, he's got the fighting style, he had the shorts, he had the walkout, he had every single thing that you need, and he was doing it for a long time here. So the hardcores feel like some kind of way about him and have ownership of his journey, and the new fans are like, who's this guy? Fifth Beatle, he got the hair, he got, like, it's a perfect storm.
And the people that want to hate on him and doubt him, they're giving him the energy and the attention
because they want to see him
out. Yeah, they want to see him fail, and that is energy and attention and inertia toward his goals. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he is Conor. I think that's a hard that bar is an impossibility. Maybe one day somebody will achieve that. But man, yeah, he has it. Whatever that it is, he has it. And he needs to stay winning. Look, it would be catastrophic if his next fight is like, somewhere opening a card or middle of a card on a pay-per-view or something. Like, this guy can sell out an arena, clearly. put him against somebody and just make that the fight. There's no reason to rush him. There really isn't.
Mm. Well, unless you put him on on a pay-per-view and just put him against another guy like Vargas.
But why? But why do that?
No. He should be fighting in the UK. Again,
exactly.
as I said, Eddie Hearn was there, and that was pretty damn cool. But
that was cool.
Eddie Hearn had, Anthony Joshua, good friend of the show, Jeremy Piven. Eddie Hearn has the blueprint. Eddie Hearn has a much bigger and more glorified version of Cage Warriors, right? Matchroom does things in the United States, but every weekend at 4 or 5, there's a DAZN Matchroom card, and it looks like that. Like when I watched Mick Conlon fight against Lee Wood, it looked like that. When I watched a couple of weeks prior the Catterall fight against Josh, it looked like that. He has been able to, and I know there's Frank Warren, but like the talent and the fan base in the UK, we know this for a long time. Half of the people that watch this show are from the UK.
Yeah.
They can't just go there once a year. They can't just go there every March. They need to go there at least every quarter. And you can have these fights, you can have these moments, and it'll make Paddy look bigger and make Molly seems like a bigger star because she did that. Imagine if she did that in Phoenix. None of that happens.
And this is why I'm saying you could put him against another guy like a Gazula Vargas on a pay-per-view card, but it's like, why? This headliner in the UK is going to be bigger than anything else you could do. There's no reason to throw that away. That's the money.
Put him at the Echo Arena again. Excuse me. Put him at the Echo Arena. Sure. Headline the card with him, with or without Till. If Till's ready to go, put him in the main event. Put Paddy in the co-main, and you're off to the races.
Yeah, and it seemed like in the post-fight press conference, Dana White talked about as soon as he gets back stateside, he's going to talk about scrapping plans and coming back.
Yes.
And it seemed like Paul Craig alluded to some existing plans that he might have gotten in trouble for some European shows. So.
Listen,
I think
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, please, for the love of God, more of Saturday, less of the Apex.
I said we're not going to talk London.
Sorry. I don't know how we got back to it.
That's it. That's all I got.
Oh, I'm going to give a couple shout outs before we go.
Hit me.
Shout out to Francis Ngannou, went under the knife.
Yeah.
Hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. The big man. Hope we get to see him again this year. I think that might be a long shot, but we'll see. Shout out to big Gable Steveson, who went back-to-back, won his second straight national championship. What a 365 days for that guy. Wins it last year, wins it this year, wins the Olympic gold. I'm not a huge collegiate wrestling fan. I go out of my way to watch him. He did a move, I think, on Friday where he freaking, somersaulted the guy. I mean, I don't even know what he did. It was crazy. It was like leapfrog. I don't know what the hell he did. The guy is 275 pounds, and he's jumping around like he weighs 145.
When he eventually and inevitably comes to MMA, it's going to be
a scene.
Special.
I think it's good what he's doing. They'll build him up as a monster. Hopefully they do it the right way. Hopefully they keep his name. They don't do any stupid stuff like changing the guy's name.
I do fear that WWE money might just be too good for No, not change him. I don't know him personally. I think DC could probably speak better to his character and the fiber. I'm talking more like, he's going to be getting big WWE money off the bat. Like, maybe why take
get punched in the face?
Head? Yeah, why do it? He might just stick with that and fall in love with it. I hope he comes to MMA because I think that dude could change the sport.
Oh my God,
with how freaky of an athlete he is.
Selfishly, I wish he was going to MMA first because just the bidding war for him at this point would be amazing. We compare him to Brock a lot for obvious reasons. He knows Brock, trained under Brock, both from Minnesota.
Same college, yeah.
It's actually more of the Kurt Angle route because Kurt Angle went to the Olympics and all that. Wasn't as successful in collegiate wrestling. But the point is, Kurt never went. Kurt flirted with going to MMA. You'll recall he was talking about Tough. IFL flirted. He never actually did it. And so to your point, that could be a thing. Brock actually had a falling out with WWE, and that led to him going to MMA. So if everything goes well for Gable, maybe we don't. That would be a bummer. It would be a bummer. I love watching that guy compete. I mean, he's just so big, yet so fast and so agile. It's amazing. And you know what? Shout out to my old friend, my old co-host. I thought DC did a phenomenal job this past weekend. Birthday yesterday, 43 for the big man. But again, after London and after Casey, well, actually it was before KC, after London, it was like, of course I'm watching NCAA basketball. Not on this night. I watched pretty much the 2-hour broadcast of the wrestling because DC brought the passion and energy of a super fan and the experience and credibility of a legend. And again, I don't really watch this stuff. And I had been saying ever since they went over, why aren't you putting DC on these broadcasts? Like, this is a natural. This guy's a 2-time Olympian. He's a freaking legend from OSU. Like, to have a guy like that come over. And I spoke to him yesterday.
Seasoned commentator.
Yes, he's great at it. I spoke to him yesterday, and I was like, people make fun of you not doing like your research and stuff, because like me listening to it, I was like, wow, you knew all these dudes. I've never even heard of these guys. You're talking to me about Penn State, this, that. He's like, I didn't do a thing of prep.
He just lives it
because he's a super like.
Yeah.
If he could have signed up for some sort of like contest to be like that's what he would have chosen to do.
If it took trivia to get it, he would have aced it.
So I thought that came through, and when that comes through, it's very special. So shout out to DC.
Shout out to the legend DC.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Thank you very much. There he is, everyone. New York Rick stopping by. Peace and love. Peace and love. I told you all, as of October 28th, if you send me anything, I'm not signing it. Okay, I'm warning you all with peace and love and peace and love.